Man loses $100,000 property in Delaware Beach community after neighbor claims squatters' rights. If this happened to me, I would be so pissed. Whose land is it anyway? A man lost his more than $100,000 property in a Delaware beachside community after his neighbor claimed squatters' rights during a court battle over the parcel. Burton Banks was forced to transfer to Melissa Schrock the title of the undeveloped land he inherited from his late father due to the little-known adverse possession code in the Diamond State. Banks reportedly wanted to sell part of the Ocean View property in 2021 worth $125,000 when he discovered Schrock had a goat pen on it for decades. She also used about 2/3 of an acre belonging to the Banks for that other purposes. She refused to leave the land, and weeks later, Bank lodged a complaint to force her to scram. But Schrock then filed a counterclaim of adverse possession tied to the animal enclosure, and that the land even went beyond that, the newspaper reported. It's just always been my backyard since I was a little kid, she told the News Journal. A judge agreed, finding that Banks and his spouse mostly lived in Atlanta and only occasionally stayed in Ocean View. Their brief visits made it hard for them to convince the courts that Schrock had not freely used the land for the past couple decades. The Delaware Superior Court judge titled the property to Schrock in February. Banks told the outlet he can't afford an appeal, but I'm hoping I can at least warn others. Oddly enough, Banks' father left an adjacent lot to Schrock's mother, who later died and bequeathed the property to her daughter. Wow, that's insane. This squatters' right thing is the biggest load of bull. It doesn't matter. The fact that it can come up in court of like, oh, they're not there much, who cares? If it's your property, it's your property. And the way the laws have gone with this squatters' rights thing, it is the biggest load of BS. I've heard crazy stories in both the states of New York and California, which are interesting, ideologically leaning to the left, and they massively favor squatters. I'm sure there are stories in the past where the owners have done like probably pretty like crazy, messed up, immoral things. But now the pendulum has gone to the other side, where if someone's just not paying their rent for months and months and months, and like then you get tied up in legal fees, it is crazy where squatter laws have gone to. And that's coming from a person, I don't even own real estate. This is just from reading it, but I bet if you're watching this and you own real estate, you probably have heard horror stories. And I hope if you're watching this that you haven't experienced them yourself, but just from like the surface level, it very much seems to me that the laws are just truly illogical, immoral, against land owners. Some of the things I've heard are just like insane. I've read stories about in California, people would get Airbnbs and just like wouldn't leave, and the state favored them. So they would show up for an Airbnb, they never paid for the Airbnb, and they just simply did not leave. It absolutely blows my mind, and this is a story that perfectly highlights it.